Think you know what way it's going to go? Make your bet at Sports Interaction. Whatever your sport, Sports Interaction has you covered pregame, live betting on all major sports, and prop bets. Want to bet? Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. 19 and over, please play responsibly.
Let's get to another buyer on your list. How about the New York Rangers?
Intriguing team, right? Because, they have 2 first-round picks, as I mentioned in the opening segment of the show. And that is significant because I think it makes them more likely to part with one of those picks. And let's face it, it's Broadway, it's Showtime. I mean, all year long, I think people have wondered, if, and it still is an if, in my opinion, Patrick Kane waives his no movement clause and decides to leave Chicago. I mean, reuniting him with Artemi Panarin, who he had a lot of success with early in Panarin's career when he signed in Chicago, is a pretty tempting proposition. Kane's season maybe hasn't gone as well as you'd like. And so, we'll see where the dynamic is at there. I certainly don't think the Rangers are locked in solely on him. I mean, there are a number of talented, scoring wingers, players that could maybe bring some more balance to the Rangers forward group. I think one thing that stands out when I look at the Rangers is they haven't quite found their mix. I mean, they've had a decent season, I would say. But, it seems like Gerard Gallant's continually moving around his lines, that not just the bottom part of the lineup, you're seeing that at the top, and just feels like they're one forward short of where they want to be. And so, they have the draft capital to make a big trade happen. And I think they have a desire to do so. I mean, they went pretty big at last year's deadline, right? Bringing in Andrew Kopp and a couple other players, and they got to the Eastern Conference Final. And so when you have a goalie as good as they do, when you have top flight players on the blue line and in their forward group as they do, I think, Chris Drury is another GM who's, wanting to go out there and give his team, a puncher's chance. The Metropolitan Division is kind of interesting because New Jersey's been such a surprise. I think no one's surprised to see Carolina have such a strong year, but I'm not saying it's wide open, but it feels a little different than when you're looking at the Atlantic and you have Boston and Tampa there, right? That feels like a more grueling road. There's no easy road in the playoffs though, but I just think that, while the Rangers maybe haven't hit their peak yet, this is a big deadline for them to go out and make an impact forward move.